Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul. And these literally are daily opportunities for you to take shortcuts to get past your mind and your past beliefs and your thoughts about what the future may or may not be, to move yourself into the awareness that is truly this soul that you are. And today is about getting free from your past. And it is probably the most, from my perspective, the most powerful subject that they can address for this current time of ascension, because ascension really is about breaking free from our past, living in the present moment in a mindful and conscious way so that we function from what is and not from what might be or what was. We function from exactly what is here and now. We're going to wait a few minutes for people to come on live, and I want to say thank you everybody for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you to our new Patreons. I'm really glad you're supporting us that way. It's wonderful. Also, want to remind you we have courses and classes coming up in September 5th. So please, as soon as you get a chance, register for the courses on my website, williammichaelforbes.com. Learn how to talk to your guides and your angels, ascended masters, multidimensional beings. They're with us all the time. It's just a matter of learning how to change our perceptual awareness so that we can sense the presence and the energy of these beings that are ever present with us. Um, and there are certain beings with one person and certain beings with another. There are, again, it's unique and distinct to each individual. But we have a simple, meticulous process for walking through a way to become aware of their presence, how to retune your awareness so that you can actually sense them. Yes, go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and you can come and you can register for the courses and classes then. I also want to thank all of the participants in our daily live shows for their generous donations through the super chats and the super stickers. I really appreciate that. That's always very helpful and encouraging. Um, so today, getting beyond our past. When I ask my guardian angel John why why is it so important to get beyond our past, and he says he laughs every time I ask him the question. He says, for the simple reason that you cannot live in the present moment if you're in the past. He says only about 80% of the people on this planet even have no inkling of how to live in the present moment, and the other 20% have various degrees of awareness in the present moment. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Teresa. Hi. Hi, Alessandra. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. I'm welcome to being a Patreon, Teresa. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that. We do the monthly free reading giveaway with me. We do a draw at the end of each month for a free reading. We've done our first one last month. Um, we also offer our Patreons a free private monthly event between myself and them, so you have an opportunity to really, over a period of one to 1.5 hours, to really look at uh, important questions and issues in your life that you might need to be resolved. And we talk to your guides. I talk to my guides, and we help get you the information that you need to empower yourself to move beyond the confines of what you think your reality is into the present moment. This is what we're going to be getting into a lot today. So yeah, welcome. So grateful to have you, Teresa. You'll receive an email explaining all the benefits. Plus, you get to ask a question once a month. That as a member of Patreon, you get to ask a question once a month and get your answer. Good morning, Lori. Hi, Allison. Hi, Giovanna. Can I get guidance from Master Jesus on how do I go about becoming more compassionate? He's um he's saying be patient, because you're going to have that answer very shortly. The the understanding of the distinction between your past and your present is one that can only be made through the presence of your awareness in the moment. You can sit and be aware of what are those thoughts? What is my mind doing? Where is it going? What is it focusing on? Are you focusing on this moment here and now? Or are you focusing on what you think you need to do next, or what's happened before that might influence what's next? It's very important to understand the distinction between your being in the present moment and your past attachments to the past and your future considerations from that past. We've talked about this on other occasions, but it's really important you understand that getting free from your past requires one thing. And when you are free from your past, you will naturally become more compassionate, because you're in the present moment. And in the present moment, you become very cognizant and aware of the needs and requirements of the beings that you're surrounded by at any moment. You are connected to them in the present moment. You cannot be connected to what is required, what is needed in the present moment. If you are connected to thinking about what you have to do or wondering what you have to do next, you cannot be in the moment when that is going on. It's impossible. And you can't create anything new if you're not in the moment. The only place you can create any lasting change in your life is from this moment right now. What are you feeling right now? What are you choosing to feel right now? Most of you are wrestling with feelings from your past and trying to figure out how to get rid of those feelings from the past, or how to not worry about what might happen in the future because of what has happened in the past. Oh, this COVID virus 19 is happening, and what does that mean for my future? And you're not in the present. You're in the past or a future past. And the goal today is to give you some simple steps for being able to get back into the present moment. So that's our goal with you guys today, is to get back into the present moment. We're going to do a short little meditation. Is one of the things they've asked to do. A very short meditation of just being present in the present and getting an opportunity. One of the things I learned is that the very first time I began to differentiate between my thoughts and my awareness was a very potent time in my life where I grew exponentially. Being able to literally distinguish your awareness from your thoughts is essential in being able to move into the present moment. If you cannot distinguish your awareness from your thoughts, then you're more than likely to be recreating or representing a past in the present or a past in the future. So it's really important to make a distinction between your thoughts and your awareness, because your awareness can exist in the present moment. Your thoughts can exist mostly in the past or in the future. You don't need thought to function at a certain point in consciousness. I'm going to hold something up, and watch what your mind does when I hold this up. Your mind is going to immediately tell you what this is. You don't have to think of. You won't even have a chance to think about it. Your mind is just going to respond to it immediately. Watch this. Your mind is just going to go. Your mind is going to tell you what this is. Right? You didn't have to stop and think. Your mind just went glasses. How many of you experienced that, where your mind just went glasses right away? That's how quickly your mind is conditioned to fill the present with its information from the past. This is so important to understand. That's how quickly, anytime your senses perceive something, it uses the information in your mind to fill what it's perceiving with the information from the past. It's a very important point to understand, that your body and your mind will try to fill what it's perceiving with its senses with information from the past, so that it can be prepared to protect itself from any potential threats. Because that's the body. Your body is an animal body. It's hardwired for fight or flight, to preserve itself. You look at the birds on the streets. You look at wild animals. For the most part, when humans approach them, they're either going to run or they're going to attack. It's very rare that wild animals will come up to you friendly, but birds and things, you walk down the street, they fly away from you, right? And that's because they've got a mechanism hardwired to preserve the existence of the form. But that is not who you are. You are not your body. Your body is an instrument that you are using to express. So now you have to learn to override or circumvent the automatic functions of the body's instinctual nature to learn to be in the present moment. And one of the ways we do this is we use breathing and train for you to train your body to be in the present moment. We use breathing. We use meditation, getting the body to be still and quiet, and then training it to be that way all the time, so that only you are aware. Yes, you can be aware, your body can be aware of things, but it's no longer trying to fill in, oh, should I be careful? It's not doing that. You're not functioning from its platform of self-preservation. You're functioning from the perspective of your awareness. And we're going to get into that a little bit more. Let's see. We're going to start going into this right away. We're going to do it again. We're going to do a short meditation in about 15 minutes to actually give you an experience of your awareness being disconnected from your thoughts and your body, not separate from them, disconnected from them in the sense that you're not trying to perceive the present moment through them. You're just being in the present moment. Master Jesus says, most people are lacking in compassion because they're too caught in survival. They're too caught in survival. And if you understand this, then it becomes extremely important then to train your body to be the quiet one, to be the loyal servant, to be the faithful pet that rests at your feet. And he means by feet, he means the feet of your consciousness. So your awareness, the body is below you as an energy that you use, but it does not run amok. It's not allowed to run around. Um, and because of its mechanism, it is very difficult for you to be compassionate because this body is always trying to protect itself. But when you get it to be calm and quiet in the present moment, compassion is what you are. Love is what you are. Love, that being which is you, in the present moment will always know what is needed in the moment. It does not worry about what is to come or what was before. It knows as it moves through time and space in this form always what is needed. Um, the Buddha, when the Buddha says chop wood, carry water, the concept of chop wood, carry water is knowing in the moment that that needs to be done and that needs to be done. And there's no thought about it. There's just the being doing. And so there's a combination of your awareness being in the present moment and being in the present moment as an awareness. You then have the opportunity to be doing what you are, what you need to be being in the moment. You'll begin to understand, oh, that person over there, I feel a draw towards them. They need a sandwich, which is what happened to me that again, in the moment, I felt this being needed a sandwich. So I went and I got them a sandwich and I brought them a sandwich. So it's important being in the moment, and yet there's beings where I won't do that. I don't feel that that's what's in the moment. So being in the moment without your mind going, oh, that person's dressed that way, that means this, and that's what your body does before you 90% of you, before you have a chance to even really know what the moment is requiring of you, your mind is telling you what it thinks is going on, what might be happening, what could be next. And until you get that under your authority, until you get this under your authority, you are under its authority. The servants have taken over your house. And so it's very important to understand this principle of being in the present moment. And getting free from your past is not as difficult as what one might think. Learning to be in the present moment makes that a lot easier. And how often you sit down just to relax your body, breathe it, keep it quiet, and literally keep all thought in your mind still. Literally keeping all thought in your mind still. A lot of people say, I can't do it. It's not that you can't do it. You haven't trained your mind to be that way. Your mind has been trained by your environment to think, feel, and believe certain things. And as a result of that, you find yourself trapped in it. But you are more than capable of learning to train your mind to be still and quiet. In your awareness, you will know vastly more than your mind could ever conceive of telling you. Anything of this world that you could possibly know, you as an awareness, as the being that you are, can know infinitely more than your body, your mind, or this world can tell you. And that is why it is so important to be in the present moment. And from that position in your consciousness, can you then begin to identify what is my purpose here? And that comes from knowing what the moment requires. For when you are in the moment, you will be being that which the moment requires. And when you are being what the moment requires, and each moment that comes, you are being what the moment requires, your purpose naturally and spontaneously unfolds from your being, not from your memory, but from your being. And understanding how to restore yourself to that estate. That's the word I'm hearing. Until you know how to restore yourself to that estate, you will be bound by this world. So it's important to get unbound from your mind, unbound from the body, not separate from them, unbound from them, so that they're your loyal and faithful servants. Your mind thinks when you ask it to think. If you want it to tell you a number to remember, it can tell you what number you want it to remember. You can tell your mind to remind you of something, and it will remind you of something. You want to train the mind to be basically quiet so that you are aware. Like right now, as they're communicating with us right now, I'm very aware of my phone vibrating. I'm aware of trucks going on outside. I'm aware of the hum of the computer system. I'm aware of the patterns of breathing, the tone of voice. I'm aware of all these things as all this information flows through, but I'm not restricted or inhibited by any of them. My awareness is not distracted by them. In fact, when your awareness is more expanded and liberated from your mind, you can be aware of infinitely more knowledge, wisdom, understanding, consciousness, dimensional beings, points of time and space. Um, you can like literally move your awareness anywhere you want in consciousness once you get it liberated from being just this finite personality of Mary Lou or Jim or Lysandra or Bobby. That's just the finite personality, but your awareness is vastly greater than this. It's one of the reasons why Jesus talks about, in my Father's house are many mansions. He's literally referring to this state of awareness that you can go into where you can literally perceive and embrace the consciousness of beings that are in another planetary system. I mean, the opportunities when you are liberated from mind and body become basically limitless, and that's what freedom for me means: not being bound by the content of my mind um, or the inclinations of my senses, to not be bound by that, but to be liberated and then allow this to be liberated through my awareness of what I'm being, not what it thinks I'm supposed to be based on my past programming. I hope this makes sense to everybody, because they said it would. So we're going to continue going forward. I'm just going to scroll up and see if I missed any questions. Can I get guidance? Oh, yes. Becoming more compassionate. Hi, Earth Angel. Hi, Tina. Recently, my spouse and I had our bank account hacked, and both our cards now our cards now cut up. Joining patron with a new card as soon as possible. That's a very fascinating thing, Gina. That thank you for the offer of joining as a Patreon. It's always we're always grateful and appreciative, and it's interesting that happened. I don't know who this is. I think this is a female being. She's wearing like these green flowing robes, and she's saying that there is fears that exist in the minds of you and your spouse that precipitated this. It is important to liberate your fears around money from within you. She's saying also what's really important is that you took remedial action immediately. You immediately began to correct the fear. She's saying correct the fear. I don't know who this being is, but it's, yeah, this green, long, flowing, almost like a satiny thing flowing. But she's saying, yes, release the fear, release the emotional fear around money. Remember, whatever we emotionally have stored in our body is a creative force in our life. Whatever we have going on in our minds and bodies is a creative force in our life until we change it. So if I've got fear, of men with beards, then every time a man with beards come by, I'm going to be triggered fear. Using the example of my stepfather, who was a very aggressive and abusive individual, he had a very thick beard, and so I think around until age 22, I had a reaction whenever I saw men with beards, and until I let that go from my mind, that was always true. Now I have no problem with that. So you have to release what is in your mind so that you can be free. You have to release what is in your mind so you can be free, right? Jesus would say, what does it profit a person to gain the whole world? And he's talking about everything that you've learned from this world, but lose your own soul. Your soul is an unlimited, infinite potential of consciousness connected to an infinite, intelligent, creative force, and you're one with that force. And so when you get locked into the identity that the world has given you, you literally give up the keys of heaven. You literally give up your connection, your awareness of this unlimited state of beingness that is truly what you are. Cool. Oh, wonderful. Teresa, that's a great, could we cover how we clear childhood trauma that you can't even remember? You don't have to remember a trauma. If you're experiencing negative emotions, you don't need to know what caused it. All you need to do is know how to release the emotional charge. We, our intermediate mediumship program, we go into deep processes of how you actually access these emotions and let them go. And a simple way we can give you right now is whenever you become aware of an emotion that's unpleasant within you, what most people do is they feel this unpleasant feeling and they want to figure out, why am I feeling unpleasant? Why am I feeling unpleasant? And then what's causing this. They'll either look for the cause of the feeling outside, or they'll examine it and keep feeding it inside. The minute you become aware of an emotional energy that you would define as negative or uncomfortable, you don't need to try and figure out where it came from. You just have to relax the body, breathe, and literally release it from the system. And again, we go into that process very deeply uh, using meditations in our Mediumship 102 course. And again, you can sign up for any of our courses in September, um, for our courses in September on my webpage, WilliamMichaelForbes.com. So that's the simplest Cole's notes. Whenever you feel a negative emotion, become aware of it. Don't give it attention. Don't feed it. Just be aware of it. Use your breath to breathe. And as you exhale, release that emotion and relax the body. Release the emotion, relax the body. And just repeat that process. That's the simplest, that's the shortest way in this time frame at this moment that we could offer you that solution. But if you do it deeply and sincerely, you will feel immediate change. Any of you who choose to do this right now will feel a subtle change in that energy that you perceive as being unpleasant. The minute you begin to deliberately release it, it begins to let go. Once you make the conscious effort to let it go, when you are consciously making the effort to let it go, it must leave. Right? It's an uninvited guest, and you're just asking it to leave. So you don't have to go back into all the analysis of your past. That's a real waste of time to go back in the past. I mean, you certainly can if you want to understand what you've learned from that. But once you've released the pain, it changes who you are. Once you release the anger, or the guilt, or the shame, once it's released, you restore yourself to what you are now. And you're more than likely to be a more compassionate person because you're not carrying around that hurt. That's been my experience personally as a personal individual. Before I had any of these guys before I was even conscious of these guys, these beings with me, before I was conscious, I had a lot of stuff going on. But I did learn how to let go. I did learn how to not be attached to my pain and suffering. And yeah, you'll find it very useful. That just that simple tool. You can do it right now. You'll feel it. Find the negative emotion. Breathe and deliberately exhale that emotion out of your body. And continue that process, keeping the body relaxed and still. Don't let the body react to it. Keep the body very still and release it. Again, we go into that very deeply as a key component of our Mediumship 102 program, because it's very, you don't want to start using, you don't want to be connecting to beings on a level of fear or anger or guilt. You don't want to connect to beings on that level. You want to connect to beings on the level of love and joy. That's the frequency you want to get your system in before you start connecting to your guides and angels. We've run into a lot of people who get caught up in dealing with lower vibrational beings, not because there's anything wrong with them, but because their energy's at that frequency. They're tuned into that. Once you start to retune your energy, learn how to alter your frequency by letting go of energies that no longer serve you, you liberate yourself to higher frequencies of communication with all of us. And we're here waiting for you. So is everybody else. Higher or lower, we are all here. Hi, Prem. Wonderful. That's wonderful to hear, Patricia. And great, thank you. Such a great community, you guys supporting and offering each other prayers like that. That's wonderful. Hi, Lori. The feeling, Patricia, I'm being told to tell you, my guardian angel is telling, John is telling me to tell you, remember the feeling of already having that which you need. I don't know why you're saying remember the feeling, because in her heart she knows how it feels to be happy. Remember the happiness that you have now. Remember your happiness, and everything that matches that will be yours to have in this world. There will be no question, for what you feel is what you are creating as your experience in the physical world. Yes, Gina, it's yeah. You don't have to focus on the memories. It's not the memories that keeps being brought up. It's the emotion that brings the memories up. And once you can release the emotions, like I remember when I released all the negative emotions around my stepfather, because it was 7 years of intense abuse at the hands of a step-parent. And when I began to release that energy, the anger, because I was in deep anger for many years, that when I began to release the anger, release the pain, the guilt, the shame, as I began to release those emotions, I didn't lose the memory. In fact, I gained all memories. So I can actually remember all the experiences I went through with that in particular individual, and there's no emotional charge. It bothers me. It doesn't disturb me. I understand what happened. I understand the meaning, and the value for me. I now also understand how to be compassionate, understanding for anybody else who's gone through that, and I also know how to show them the way to get through that because I've done it. And what I don't know how to do, my guides and angels will tell me. That's the other thing. You want to tap into these beings that are knocking on your door, whether they're coming in through your ears or you're actually seeing flashes of light around, or you're feeling them tap you on the back, or you suddenly got a sensation on top of your head. They're trying to get through to you. They're trying to offer you information and ideas and inspiration that will move you out of the confines of your predictable self, right? You want to be able to shift your awareness out of what you're familiar with into what is new and dynamic. Only new things happen in the present moment, unless we project our past onto our present. But Gina, I'm really getting that what you just heard about being able to just identify the emotion, breathe it, and release the emotion repeatedly. Repeatedly release the emotion, release the emotion, release the emotion, and then return your mind to the present. Every time you release the emotion, you'll feel the energy in your body shifting and changing instantaneously. I get that all the time. Even when they come into my presence, my energy shifts. But you want to get to the place where you're deliberately and intentionally releasing those emotions from your system, so that you restore yourself to this present moment, right? Because those emotions take you back to the past, right? They take you back into the memories. Once you release the emotions, those emotions aren't there to take you back anywhere. Once they're gone, you're in the present moment. And in the present moment, you can look at the past and not be disturbed by it. You can consider a future and consider how you would like it to be from the present moment. But when you got past emotions being present, it makes it difficult to go forward into your future, because if you're living from a past present, then your brain will also be concerned, your body and mind will be concerned about a future past that might happen again. So I better be very careful what I say, what I do, who I'm with. So you want to get out of your mind and restore yourself to the eternal present, right? Master Jesus repeatedly says, tell everyone the kingdom of God is here and now. He says the hosts of angels can be heard singing in this moment, but you cannot hear them, for you are listening to other things with other ears. Mm. So learning to be in the present moment is really, really, really important. And that's what this is about, getting free from your past. Yes, they're all saying to me right now, we don't like complicated. We do not do complicated. Life is very simple. Change and transformation are actually very simple processes. Many of you have been led to believe that you have to suffer in order to find liberation. And this is the greatest lie you have ever been told. You do not have to find suffering to find liberation. You can find liberation in this moment right now. You can find liberation in not giving attention to those things that no longer serve you. Your only freedom is in this moment. This is where you will find freedom. You will not find it tomorrow. You will not find it in yesterday. You'll find it here and now. Cool. Thank you, brother. Pet. I'm just scrolling to see if we got any questions. We're going to do a short meditation in about another, they're saying 3 more minutes. Okay. And again, so the meditation, yes. So the meditation is going to be very, very simple. We're going to ask you to take 3 emotions. Okay, it's not 3, 1. Okay, they're saying 1. Take 1 emotion that seems to be repetitively happening for you. 1 emotion that is repetitively happening. Okay, and that's the emotion that you're going to choose to release from your present. You're going to release yourself from it and restore yourself to the present. And it's going to be simple. We're going to do a few slow, deep breaths, just 3 or 4 slow, deep breaths to get your body into a subjective state for your awareness, so that you can work with the emotional energy in the mind, which will release it from the body. Who's going to be doing this? Okay. Master Buddha's energy will be present with us for this, because yes, he understands the concept of being in a mindless state. Being mindless does not mean that you are not mindful. It means you do not have the confines of your past trying to articulate who you are. Rather, you are being free of that which is your past to be in this present, which is a far more mindful state of being than that which you have currently experienced up to this point. Okay, so we'll do several deep breaths, and then you're going to call and identify that emotion that you want to release from your system. And then we're going to have you um, take that emotion, find out where it is localized in your body. Some people keep some emotions. Anger might be stored in your head. Uh, Sadness might be stored down in your stomach or in your heart. But for each of you, you will be able to understand. Once you call forth that emotion, you can decide which one emotion you're going to choose right now. But choose it right now. And once you've identified it, that's the point in your physiology where you're going to identify it in your body. Then you're going to use your breath. We're going to have you use your breath to breathe into that energy and literally release it. Make a conscious choice to release that energy from your body. And then when you do that process of exhaling the emotion away from your body, then restoring your awareness to the present. What is different about now after you've released that? And then we're going to have you do that again, releasing the emotion again. What is different about now after you've released that emotion? We're going to have you do that 3 times. They're saying 3 times. Why 3 times? They say 3 times is because it's just it's a cycle. There's a story about the walls of Jericho where Joshua came out and sounded the horns and the trumps, and made a specific sound, and the walls of Jericho fell down on the 3rd day when he did this. And this is very similar. When you take a vibration and you intentionally put it, in this case, the deliberate intention of releasing this emotion, releasing this emotion, releasing this emotion, you're actually establishing a new vibration by intentionally doing that process. And by the 3rd time, you will feel enough of a difference to know that something within you has been changed by those actions. And then you can repeat this anytime your past comes up. You can literally move into that and repeat that process. It's not the memory, it's the emotion you want to change. The memories you want to keep, good, bad, or different. You can learn from what you remember. You have learned from what you remember, but you want to release the emotion so that what you remember isn't interfered with by your experience of the past, by your emotional decisions about the past. We're hoping this makes sense to you. Um, um, I can't say for sure. Again, when we're doing this together, I'm as much an observer. For me, William, as little William self, working with these beings, it's difficult because I prefer to allow them to communicate. So when I do, I don't try. I'm really not trying to remember anything. I'm just being the best I can in the moment and allowing everything to flow through from them to you. And your guides and angels are doing the exact same thing. Like they're not separate from each other. When you understand what multidimensional consciousness and awareness is, you begin to realize it is possible through the understanding of what you are as an awareness that you can be in multiple places simultaneously with no diminishment in your capacity to function at any point of time and space. And it's actually very understandable when you are in their energy, when you are in that state of being. You understand, wow, my awareness isn't diminished. I can still hear the water running through the pipes. I can still hear the birds chirping down in that park across the street and not be restricted in what I'm being here and now. And as you understand that through working with them, you begin to liberate yourself from a lot of different things. So let's everybody get comfortable right now. And I'm going to request, if you haven't got water with you, take a little sip of water at least before we start this. We're going to do 3 short breaths, and then we're going to do 3 more breaths where you call forth the emotion you're going to release, and you're going to release it from the body. So it'll be a total of 6 breaths. And what's going to be important is that you notice what changes in what you are experiencing as your awareness, as your feeling. You want to be aware of what happens to that emotional energy as you go through each of the 3 breaths of releasing it. You're going to use the first 3 breaths to restore and relax your body into the present moment so that you can be more mindful of what you're experiencing in the present. And then we're going to have you call forth that one emotion that you want to release at this time. And then we're going to have you release it from the system with 3 more breaths. And then we're going to let you experience that so that you understand the process from your own experience and not just from our words. Okay. So get your body comfortable now. And then take a slow, deep breath. And when you exhale, allow all the muscles in your body to just let go. Just give your entire body permission to relax as you exhale. And then take another slow, deep breath. And as you exhale, again, allow the body to completely and fully relax. And then draw in one more slow, deep breath. And completely let any muscles relax fully and completely now with the third breath as you exhale. And just give your body complete permission to relax. Let it be totally relaxed for you. Now call forth the one emotion that you want to release at this time. This one emotion from your past that you want to release at this time. Identify what it is, if it's anger or fear. And notice where it seems to be in your body most intensely. Just notice that point where it is in your body. And we want you to place your left hand over that point in the body where that emotion is. And just be aware of what happens when you place your hand over that point. What happens to the emotion? Now we want you to breathe deeply. And as you exhale, exhale that emotion out of the body. Literally exhale it out, like you exhale it out of the body. And then draw your breath in again. Move your awareness back to that emotion. And exhale it out of the body again. And one more time. And exhale that emotion again. And at the end of that breath, just feel how your awareness feels. And feel the difference in where that energy was in the body. Just notice the difference. And then restore yourself back to this moment and just be aware of the change of what happened to that emotion. Now, some of you, they want me to tell you that some of you, it may be important to continue this process even while we are going on here. Continue the process. For some of you will find a whole bunch wishes to be released. Then allow that. Just stay present, use your breath, and exhale it. You are using you're saying you're using your intention, your will, and your breath to release this. Yes, they're saying that there are some of you that are um, so attached to those emotions that you're having a difficult time letting them go. But we would say to you that the more you practice letting go, the easier it will become. You no longer have to let yourself be defined by those emotions anymore. They are not who you are. They are memories of your experiences, but they're not who you are. So getting free of your past is about letting it go, letting the emotions go. They are not who you are. They're not intrinsic to who you are. They are merely memories of what was before. And you are not a memory. You are this present moment. You are the being present here and now. And the more you become aware of that truth, the greater your freedom and liberation will be. Mm-hmm. And for anybody who's experienced a shift or change in their energy from that process of letting go of the past, please leave a comment in there for others so that they know that that's happened, because your experience might trigger something for somebody else to know and be aware of. So please share your experiences in the comments box. Um, um, Sean, I'm just going to scroll down here. Lots of questions. Hi, Trish. Thank you for that super sticker. Thank you for the pair. I really appreciate that. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that donation. $14. Questions. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you again. Hi, Nicole. Gina. Wow. Good to have so many of you here today. It's lovely. I'm just trying to get back to where I left off for the questions here. So yes, please leave your comments about what you just experienced with that process that we imparted. It's important. Buddha says to me, this is so simple. Um, it is much simpler than you realize when you understand that you do not have to be attached to anything. He says, this is the simplest method for non-attachment that I could extend to you at this time. It is the simplest way to begin your journey of non-attachment. And there are many paths on that journey, but this is but one. And it is my it is my being that suggests that you can do this. It is my honor to extend this to you, for when you liberate yourself from the attachments of that which is not true, you liberate yourself to that which is. And from that perspective, we all expand and become greater. This is one of the reasons that service becomes so important. For when you liberate anyone from their suffering, you liberate yourself. And the degrees and intensity of one's suffering, the degrees and intensity of one's awareness, degrees and intensity of one's knowledge is unique and distinct at whatever level of awareness you aspire to be at in the present moment. But the gift, when it is given, is also received by the giver. Thank you. Really appreciate that. It's wonderful. Questions going up really fast. Okay, here we go. Can we reflection is asking, can we manifest anything we can conceive of? Absolutely. In fact, anything in the human realm that is conceived of, any idea humans conceive of, becomes a manifestation. If it is conceived of repeatedly, dwelt on, focused on, given a thought, given energy, then it becomes reality. The idea of the watch from Dick Tracy, the old cartoon in the 30s, used to have a Dick Tracy watch. Right now, look at us. We got iWatches and Apple Watches. That was conceived of in the 30s, and here it is now, in less than 100 years later. So again, an idea forms. An idea forms when emotional energies are attached to that idea to such an extent as to force its manifestation into material realization. Thank you. That's a really important point that was just made. Understanding that emotion forces matter into materialization of what we call our material experience. So it's the amount of emotion that goes into something that gives it determines the time for manifestation of an idea. And we're seeing things happening so much faster in the last 30 or 40 years, partly because the knowledge and information coming out about creative potential, the secret, all these different things that are coming out about how to create with your mind and your emotions. I mean, it's been going on for the last 8 or 9 years, where you look at guys like Earl Nightingale and Napoleon Hill and Tony Robbins, and it's just so many mentors. Jacqueline Small, Shirley MacLaine, that talk about the Shakti Gawain, that talk about the creative process. And so as our knowledge that what we feel creates and organizes matter becomes more conscious for all of us, then the creative process is enabled much more rapidly. So yes, you can create anything, absolutely anything. And if I've missed your question, I apologize. I'm using BeLive to present to my YouTube channel right now. So I'm going to try and access it from my device here and see if I can scroll up, because I can see I've missed some questions. And where we are, there we are here. So let's go here. Can I go live on that? Okay, there's the questions. I think I can scroll all the way up now. Wonderful. Going up. Okay, so let's see. How long can this dark? Autumn is asking, how long can this dark night last? If you use the process, who's saying this? I don't know who this is, but I think this is your higher self talking to you, Autumn. If you use this simple process, you can release that darkness from your awareness. You are so busy looking at it that you cannot let it go. You are trying to see beyond it, but you are looking through it. You cannot see beyond it if you're looking through it. Use the process that you were given, and you will understand how quickly you can part the darkness and see the light. That is truly who you are. Release that. Release your focus on that. Breathe it out. Exhale it from your being. It no longer has a place in who you are. I like that. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to see if I go up here. I'm just reading some of your questions from my mobile device because it retains all of the conversations that are going on. So here we go. Sean is asking, I know it's not necessary. Oh, by the way, please, while you're watching this, please give this video a thumbs up while you're watching it, because you increase the amount of ratings and exposure, and it gets I think it's called SEO goes up, so this video can get out to more people. When you give it a thumbs up, and it's like it goes up in the ratings in the YouTube algorithms, and other people get a chance to see it that might not see it. So please give this video a thumbs up. Oh, you're welcome, Gina. Okay, I got this one. Oh, that's wonderful, Gina. You're letting it go. They're saying you're letting it go. Continue to do that. Even when you start releasing it, when you start to release, especially old, dense energies like that, the body has a natural mechanism. When it feels pain, it goes, ow, right? So when you're releasing it, it will need to cry. It will need to release that energy. That's exactly what's happening. You're actually releasing. Buddha says there's 3 great releases: great laughter, great sex, and great tears are the 3 great releases for the human body, right? In this case, you're doing great laughter. It's wonderful. Remember, the minute you start deliberately and intentionally releasing emotions from your body, because you have to do it consciously, it will not happen on its own. And I feel so much for so many beings on this planet that are caught in their emotion, and they're trying to get rid of it with drugs, and they're trying to get rid of it with alcohol, and they're trying to get rid of it with pharmaceuticals, and not succeeding, or they end up cutting themselves off. They can't feel anything because at least then they feel nothing. Once you realize you are a divine being, you are an infinite extension of loving consciousness, and you have the power to create. When you feel anger, you feel pain, or that's triggered for you in the present, you can literally stop, release it, make a choice to release. I'm going to allow my body to relax. But the body, if your body's addicted to the adrenaline that's caused with fear and anger, because that's the other side of this too. Your past, you experienced adrenaline. There's chemical highs that happen when you're being terrified, or you're being attacked, or you're filling up with joy. There's a chemical reaction, and the body can get addicted to those chemicals, good and bad, and it gets used to those chemicals, right? So there'll be that process, because the body will try to recreate. It'll try to remember that pain so that you feel that depression, the chemicals that go with it, because it's used to it. Let it go. Breathe and let it go. Return to the present moment. Return to the present moment. This is where we all live. It's the only place you can live is in the present moment. That's why when you are suffering, it's because you have left your house, which is the present moment. Learn to restore yourself to the present. Restore yourself to the present. Breathe and release the emotions of the past. No longer hold on to them. Um, yes, I know. They're saying there's other things. The relationships you have right now, the situations and circumstances that you may be in, may also be a composite of that past. So as you start to release these emotions, you're going to start to become more aware of what you've got around you, become more aware, and you start to see, oh, this person's in my life because of my suffering. This person's in my life because of my depression. This person's in my life because of my joy. You'll start to see the emotional connections that you have creatively. Why you are experiencing the people, events, and circumstances are usually connected to your past emotions, most of them. When you're in the present moment, you then become a creator. And in the present moment, you can choose joy. I'm going to choose to be in a state of joy right now. Woohoo! I can choose that. I can choose to be calm and still and quiet. And anytime I make a choice like that in the present moment, the brain's chemistry instantaneously changes. The minute I do that, the minute you do that, you create an instantaneous change in your chemistry. And I can do that just like that, right? Just smiling, you can change your chemistry. I'm just going to scroll down here a little further. Amazing. Yes, it is. I'm always blown away. Okay, I'm going to try. I can't keep up with the questions, so I'm just going to scroll down, and we'll see where we are here. Oh, there. Okay, I'm there. Yeah, if you really want to support, remember, if you want to support my work, you can offer a donation here on the super chats or super stickers, or you can become a Patreon. Anything you can do to support this work makes it easier for us to do this. Still have a little pain, but we'll continue this process with several more negative feelings. Yes, there's a direct correlation between your past emotions and your present physiological state. If you're carrying around your past pain, your body literally stores it. Every experience you've ever had that's got an emotion attached to it is stored in your body. When you release the negative emotional charges thing, I keep all the positive ones. I release the negative ones. And in that process, you literally liberate your body from the burden, literally the chemical and the energetic burden of those past emotions. And you don't have to give up the memories. Like I said, I'm grateful for what I went through with my stepfather and what I've learned from it. And what that taught me to be it taught me how to be compassionate to other people, right? Okay, I won't. I'm saying not to talk too much about myself. No specific questions today, but I'm always interested to hear what they want me to know. Patricia, yes, no, that is priceless. Like I said, Master Buddha does the being in the present moment meditation in our mediumship, in our mediumship course, where he actually does it's like a 30 or 40 minute meditation of actually being in the present moment. I don't know about you guys, but I could feel the energy of him. Still feel the energy of him around my body. And it is, once you start to become aware that they're around you, you can start learning how to listen. Again, you learn how to do that. But he leads the learning how to be in the present moment meditation, which we have three. By the end of the courses, you're up to meditating an hour a day. All of our students, without fail, have learned to do this, how to meditate, and it's because they walk us through it really easily, right? It's very simple once you understand the how, and once you apply it. Wonderful. Again, there are many, Gina, I'm being asked to tell you, there are many paths to this. This is but one. If this has touched the place in your heart that gives you a degree of freedom, then this is a good path for you. Continue to walk upon it. Yes. Good morning, Carolyn. Oh, you're very welcome. It was a real pleasure and an honor to read for you yesterday. It was a real pleasure. Course students earlier, I had thought the thought of lesson 108, and Buddha just confirmed. Look it up if you feel drawn to. Okay. Trish, that experience put a smile on my face. I will continue to do this. Yeah, I love it because the level of simplicity with which they made things way simpler than I ever could have made them. I used to do things when I was a conventional coach, before I was consciously communing with my guides and angels and ascended masters. I had very complex ways of getting people to transform and release. And they always gave me inspiration to make it easier for them. And it's wonderful. Like I said, there's so much simplicity to being able to transform your life. It's not meant to be complex, contrary to what most um, uh, many mental health processes indicate, that it does not have to take years to heal. It does not have to take years. You can go through, when you have the proper understanding and knowledge. You can literally release years of trauma in a couple of hours, literally years, sometimes even in a couple of minutes, if you understand the process of how to direct your mind and body to function for you rather than function independent of you, which they do. For most of you, your bodies and minds are running you. Most of us have experienced that. Um, Joining that, hi Julia. Um, you're welcome, Lysandra. They told us, like, we've been going full out. Like I said, we started our courses this year. We started them a while ago, and we've been going nonstop right up till June the 5th, when the 103, with the last 103 of the winter session completes. And we're going to be. They want us to focus on really building this information platform to the general public, so that the public has access to information that's simple and easy. Because a lot of people got beliefs that they can't afford it, right? So they've told us to be. This is where we give our charity. That's what they told us. This is where you give your service, and those who wish to support you can support you, and those who do not believe they cannot do not have to, but they will learn to. Because once you start liberating yourself from your past, you are limitless in the present. So yeah, September 5th is when they told us to start it. I wish it was starting June 5th. And part of me wishes it was starting again too in June, but no. And if I've learned, you learn to follow them. Like they are never wrong. Your guides, when you start tapping, they're never wrong. I cannot tell you. I just listen now. I just listen. It's like if you go to a master mechanic to learn auto mechanics, you're going to listen and hang on every word he says, because you want to become a good mechanic. You want to become a master mechanic. So you learn to listen to your guides and angels. Learn to hear them. Learn to sense their energy. Like I said, once you've got a higher platform of knowledge available to you, you can transform your life really quickly. Okay. Who was the being of white light with me? I don't recall. Again, when people ask me questions about something before, I don't retain. I'm literally like you guys. One of the reasons we record all of the activities that happen in our course and classes are recorded and put on the wall, because I could not remember half of what happens in the meditations, in the lessons that happen, because I'm not doing it myself. So I'm I'm like you. I'm a student in the class. And how many of you will remember everything that we've experienced here in this short time frame? You'll take one or two small pieces from it, but there's been a wealth of information. And for me, that happens. I don't remember a lot of the stuff until somebody brings to my attention. I have no recall of that being of white light, but I do know that they've come to me before. Let's see. Lori, you're answering your own question. The answer is yes. It's funny. He says that being more deliberate. I don't know why he's saying that to you. Being more deliberate, you will find that more presently deliberate in what you choose in the moment. You will find greater peace. Cool. Lesson 108. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Patricia. Gina, I agree. My mind does take over and run me. All of this advice and love is coming in, and I'm thanking you all. You're very welcome, Gina. Like I said, I've been where you are, done that, bought the T-shirt, got it hanging on my wall. I know what it's like to have your mind running you, and you feel like a terrified child being dragged by an adult down the street without any control. I know that feeling. But realize that's not who you are. You're not that scared child. You are a divine being. When you move into the present moment and say to your mind, shh, and you say to your body, relax. But I want no relax. But no, relax. And you keep training it, telling it shh, until finally it listens. And when your body and mind are listening to you, there's a liberation that happens in your awareness where you're going, oh my God, I feel good. And it does. That's what Jesus said, when all ye that are heavy laden come unto me, and you shall be relieved. And what he meant is not him literally. Don't come unto him literally. He's not going to take your burdens, but coming into the awareness of who you are. When you recognize that you are a divine extension of infinite love and unlimited creative potential, that awareness, that knowledge, literally releases you from any belief that you should suffer in any way, shape, or form. Right? Yeah, Master Jesus says this repeatedly. He said, no, I am not your Savior. Your Savior is in you as that which you say I. I am that I am is your Savior, and that is what you are. I am that I am also. So when you come unto me, you are coming unto thee, that which is I am. Yes. He said, many of you make the error of thinking and believing that I am your personal Savior. I am is your personal Savior, but not the specific personality that you called Jesus or that you refer to as Yeshua. For we are in this estate in one house. I am. Wow. Thank you so much. And that is true. When you become the awareness, you liberate yourself from the personality, and it's so freeing. It's just so freeing. Um, Somebody's asking a question here. I agree. My mind. Okay, we got there. Oh, Earth Angel. What do my guides suggest? 101 or 102? What do her guides suggest? Well, you may have the freedom of choice to choose either. It is always wiser to learn the fundamentals of anything, but you may choose either. I would personally say choose. Start at the 101. That's what I would personally say. But they're saying you can choose either one. But I would say start at the 101. Start at the foundation and build it up. Really important. Don't shortchange yourself. These courses are life changing. They're not just and you're not going to get this kind of life changing course at the price you're going to get it at. It's really one of the best offers we've ever experienced from anybody. Thank you for that question. Wow, 1103. Wow. Yes. Oh, you're very welcome, Lori. So I want to thank everybody for showing up today. And I want to thank my wonderful partner, Norma, for supporting me and being able to do this and giving us the space and the time, because we're running 2 offices out of our home at the same time. I want to give a big shout out to her. And I love you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for all that. And again, thank you, everybody. Please remember to support this work. Become a Patreon. Offer donations when we're coming live. Whatever you can do helps. And we're very grateful. Remember, go to my website, WilliamMichaelForbes.com, and you can get all the information about the courses and classes. You can register there. And we'll look forward to seeing you in September and seeing you tomorrow. Have a wonderful and a joyful day. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.